Starting with this video, I will begin a series in which I intend to present the greatest footballers from almost every country. So the protagonist of today's video is Mikael Laudrup, the greatest footballer in the history of Denmark. He won league titles with Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Ajax, playing mainly as an attacking midfielder. I'll tell you more right away, but first, intro. Over time, Denmark has had many great players, including the legendary goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel, Allan Simonsen, who is the only player from Denmark to win the Golden Ball, Brian Laudrup, who is the Michael's younger brother, and not least Michael himself, the subject of today's video. Michael Laudrup is considered the greatest Danish footballer in history and even one of the greatest footballers in the world. He was the type of player who could dribble all the players on the field and score. He could create some spectacular assists, but also score from a 30 meters distance. If I were to compare him to other players, I would say he dribbled like Messi and was spectacular like Ronaldinho. Born on June 15, 1964 in Frederiksberg, Denmark, Michael comes from a football-loving family. His father Finn played as a striker and was even present in the national team of Denmark. His uncle Ed Skovdal was a successful coach in Scandinavian football, and his brother Brian was a top striker in the 1990s in Europe. The football virus has also been transmitted to the sons of Michael, Mads and Andreas, but they have only played for Danish teams. In 1981, Laudrup began his career as a professional footballer. He started it in Denmark for the KB team, I will not even try to pronounce the full name, where his father was a player coach. In 1982, Michael and his father moved to the Danish second division team Brøndby. They helped promote the team and Michael won the Danish Player of the Year at just 18 years old. Because he had an excellent season in which he scored 24 goals in 38 matches, he was bought by Juventus in 1983 for $1 million, a record amount at that time for a Danish footballer. Before signing with Juventus, Mikael had agreed with Liverpool for a 3-year contract, but at the last minute Liverpool changed the proposal into a 4-year contract and Michael refused. But let's return to the Juventus story. At that time, the Italian regulations allowed teams to have a maximum of 2 foreign players, and Juventus already had Boniek and Michel Platini, some exceptional players about whom I could make videos in the future. Thus, immediately after the purchase, Juventus lent him to Lazio, who had just been promoted to the first league. In the meantime, he made his debut for the senior national team of Denmark, on the day he turned 18 years. In the first year after the transfer, Laudrup helped Lazio to avoid relegation, but in the second year he could not repeat the story and Lazio relegated. So Laudrup returned to Juventus in the summer of 1985 to replace Boniek, playing alongside Michel Platini. In his first year at the club, he won the 1985-1986 Italian League, as well as the International Cup trophy, and he was once again named Danish Player of the Year in 1985. However, the following season was not a success for Laudrup, who suffered multiple injuries. When Platini retired in 1987, Laudrup was expected to lead the team in his place, playing alongside newly bought Welsh forward Ian Rush. But Laudrup failed to live up to Platini's standards and did not score any goals in the championship, despite playing in almost all the matches of the 1987-88 season. The following season was a little better, scoring 12 goals in 41 games in all competitions. Thus, Laudrup left a great impression among his colleagues. Roberto Gallia, a former Italian international, said, "I have played against Maradona, Platini and Baggio. But the player I saw to do the most indescribable things was Michael Laudrup." Michel Platini described him as a genius who can never reach his true potential. One of the biggest talents ever, the best in the world on the training pitch, but never used his talent to its full during matches. Michael had everything, except for one thing: he wasn't selfish enough. After 6 years spent in Italy, where he played well but not exceptionally, he went to Spain to play for Barcelona. It was 1989 and Laudrup was 26 years old. Barcelona was coached by the legendary Johan Cruyff, who was Laudrup's childhood idol, which contributed enormously when he decided to transfer. In the Catalan group, Laudrup had a dream period. 4 consecutive titles in the Primera Division between 1991 and 1994, 2 trophies of the Best Player of the Year in Spain, a King's Cup, 2 Spanish Super Cups, but especially the first European Champions Cup in the history of Barca, in 1992, and the European Super Cup. His spectacular style conquered even Franz Beckenbauer, who said, "In the 1960s, the best player was Pele. In the 1970s, it was Cruyff. In the 1980s, it was Maradona. And in the 1990s, it's Laudrup." But 1992 was also marked by a great disappointment for Michael, missing the highest performance in the history of Danish football, the European title won by his national team, due to disagreements over tactical reasons with the coach Richard Moller Nielsen. When Barca hired the fourth foreign star player, Brazilian striker Romário, in 1993, it meant that the 4 foreigners would rotate as the 3 foreign players allowed in each match, and when he was not selected for the 1994 European Cup final 0-4 loss to Milan, amid conflicts with Cruyff, his time at Barcelona was effectively over. After the match, Milan's manager Fabio Capello remarked, "Laudrup was the guy I feared, but Cruyff left him out and that was his mistake." Unhappy with his new status, Michael decided to leave Barcelona for their great rival, Real Madrid. Laudrup's departure from Barcelona was a huge blow for the fans and his teammates alike. Pep Guardiola was reportedly so upset by the news that he cried and begged Laudrup to change his mind. Reflecting on his time at Barcelona, Laudrup commented, "I think we played some very good football, and I think the most of all we demonstrated that even without getting the 10 best players in the world, you can have the best team. Because everybody talked about Beckstein, Baquero, Guardiola, Stoichkov and Koeman. But when we started, none of us was a best player. Then we became maybe the best team in the world together with Milan in that period." At the age of 30, Laudrup moved to Real Madrid in 1994. He motivated his decision saying the following, "People say I wanted to go to Real Madrid just to get revenge. I say, revenge from what? I've had a perfect time. 5 fantastic years here. I went to Madrid because they were so hungry to win and they had 4 or 5 players who went to the World Cup. I said this would be perfect, new coach, new players and hungry to win." The impact was immediate. In the first El Clásico after his arrival at the Bernabeu, Real beat Barca 5-0, the same score that the Catalans had won a year ago when Laudrup had not changed sides. Laudrup won the title that season with the Madrid group and Ivan Zamorano became the top scorer thanks to them. Although he played for only 2 years in Madrid, Laudrup was voted the 12th best player in Real's history in an online poll conducted by the Daily Marca in 2002. Laudrup's former Barcelona manager Cruyff commented, "When Michael plays like a dream, a magic illusion, determined to show his new team his extreme abilities, no one in the world comes anywhere near his level." At the age of 32, Michael Laudrup left for Vissel Kobe in Japan in 1996, which he helped to promote in the first league, and in 1997 he returned to Europe at Ajax Amsterdam. In his last season, 1997-1998, Laudrup made the Championship Cup event. At the end of this season, Michael retired at the age of only 34. Laudrup was known as the gentleman on the field and never received a red card. He preferred to outplay his immediate opponent rather than knock him down. His trademark move, looking one way and passing the other, fooled countless opponents during his career. Currently, Ronaldinho takes the credit for that move. Michael Laudrup's talent was recognized many years after his retirement as a player. In 2004, both Laudrup brothers were named in the FIFA 100, a list of the 125 greatest living footballers, chosen by Pele as part of the celebration of FIFA's 100th anniversary. In 2016, France Football magazine placed him in a top 10 of the most elegant footballers in the history of Barcelona, along with Maradona, Hagi, Messi and Rivaldo, among others. Okay, that was all for today. The advice of the episode is for your cat. This year, don't fucking destroy the Christmas tree.